Progress Racing presents Show Us Your Tips, Daggy and Beaver, with you for a midweek preview. The Beaver's risen from his deathbed, is on the mend. How are you, buddy?
Yes, risen from my deathbed, as you have stated, but on the mend after a good bout of the good old the COVID, mate. Got hold of me, but I'm back now, so
Probably not,
hopefully for the better.
probably not a bad weekend for you to sleep through, to be honest. But we live to battle on, and we'll do some have a look at Sandown first of all for our midweek show, and kick off with the soft track rail in the True at Hillside. So coming down the middle of the track by the end of the day, I'll suspect. We kick off with a 1400 meter 3-year-old maiden. How are you going to start the day here?
Yeah, tricky affair to get the line on him here, but I'm going to go for the coming straight aft cabin. Uh, they've put the money on it, and it's first up run at Warwick Farm was impressive enough. Just missed there. Now down in Victoria, this looks set up for it, and I expect it to probably get the jockeys first up.
I agree. Nice barrier here to just blend in and chime in at the right time, mate. Its main danger is the scratching. So I think even standing up now around the even money mark is a good price with the Busselton horse out. So I think the city form fits pretty well here. So I think it's not a bad way to start the day. 2400 meter staying race benchmark 70 is the second on the card where, well, I think I think Royal Crown's a way to play here. I wasn't that keen, but I've talked myself back into it. Cross the line with no effort on a Saturday last start. I think that stands up pretty well. He has now had the run, and don't think this is that strong a race from Wasaka, who obviously, as the market suggests, is going well here. Chase Radio last start, but I think they're the main two. What have you made of this?
Yeah, it's not a strong race. You're 100% right. Yeah, I just probably couldn't back Royal Crown. I thought I just went for a little bit more value in the race. I went for
Mm-hmm.
That's Incredible from the Paddy Payne stable. Thought last run was an improved run. Just missed behind Pure Deal, who's flying and keeps winning. So 3 kilo weight relief on that might run well.
1,000 meters benchmark 64 is the third on the card. What have you done here?
Yeah, this is a tricky affair as well.
Yeah.
I was sort of went through the market on this and found it really hard to come up with something. So I went for the Resumer, Miss Belvani from the Davenage stable. It's 1-2 from 2, and they've both been first up. I've only had a couple of runs in each prep. Hopefully it can be forward enough for this and can run a strong race.
Cool. I thought this was a very tricky race. If I'm going to play, I'm going to default to a couple at each way price. Tories D, as usual, my default is the lightly raced up and comer. Nice trial win before the win there that you can get an each way price. And I think Darcy Andermill fits into this race over the track and distance. Not that keen on the race, but Tories D on top from the 4. Race 4 is a benchmark 70, 1,000 meters, where I felt like the safe bet here was Maddox each way. We'll roll along on pace. You know what you're going to get. It's going to be one they're going to have to run past, and is going to give you a nice sight. Obviously scared of Duchy of Savoy. Last trial was good. Trial before wasn't so sure. And first up, a couple of preps back did bolt in here. I'm just not sure how it's been going since, but possibly the most talented Beaver. You keener?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Duchy of Savoy. I don't think this is an overly strong race. Resuming here, fresh, trialled okay. Brought down to Sandown for this first up by the Hawk stable, which is always a good point, and got a good jockey on board, so that'll do me.
Race 5 is a 1,300 meter 64. What have you done here?
Yeah, another tricky race here on the day, pretty open market. I've gone for the Regima as well here from the Snowden stable. Frosted, thought it could run well. Doesn't have great first up record, but look, its last preparation was okay without winning, but I think it could probably run well enough here to give a bold sight.
I was forgiving change here. Not so keen on the price this morning. I was hoping for more of a $5 or $6, but just stuck 3 wide on a leaders track last start. It was never ever in the race. I think coming back here inside gate for Williams, I think can posse up leaders back. And if it's anywhere near its best from last prep, I think it will be hard to beat around the. I was hoping I'd set around $5 or $6, but maybe the money coming is a good sign. Beyond that, I've struggled to find a lot, so I'll stick with Chain here for Chris White. Race 6 is a 1,300-metre 64 for the girls. Thick field, Beaver. What do you make of these?
Yeah, again, the whole day is a pretty open affair.
Yeah.
So you won't need many winners.
I think we're starting to get a lot of those 64s. They're just tricky races
They are tricky
to wade
races.
through.
At least here they've got a couple coming off last start wins. I've gone for the down in the weights, or down in the numbers at least, Magic Chloe from the Brisker stable.
Yeah, we lost the Beaver there.
Sorry, mate. Noisy
Yeah, right.
background. Magic Chloe is third up here, and I thought last start win was pretty good. Was well found in the markets, won nicely enough, and I think it probably comes on from that being third up. So there's plenty of improvement there. Thought it could run well again, and didn't mind the price.
Yeah, tricky race. I was happy to take a bit of a chance here that the pennies dropped with most impressive last start. The pace looks to be all drawn out wide with it and freeways and a couple of others drawn wider. I'm hoping you can tag across and pick up a nice spot, and it might be the one to get past at the end. But I really struggled to split a lot of these up with so many converging form lines. So the Flying Moody stable on top, but not a great deal of confidence there. Race 7 is a benchmark 70 over the mile. Just looking through the scratchings. Couple of chances here. I'm going to stick with Hanardi, who ran well last start behind Shakespeare, gap back to third. I think this fits in really well for him to just chime in and race away from these, actually. From Mr. Dynamics, who did win and beat what I think is a talented horse last start at the track. I sort of think they're the two, and you can back them both at the moment and come out in front. What have you made of this one?
Yeah, I stuck with Hanardi as well for exactly the same reasons as you. I think it gets the right race here and set up here. Won well 2 starts back. Both its runs last 2 have been very good. 1,600 suits, drawn well. I think, yeah, it'll get the jockeys today.
Beautiful. And the last is the 1,800-metre benchmark 70. How are we going to finish off?
Yeah, I'm going to go for the Pruska trained B29. It's flying at the moment. It's won the last 2. Won them both in nice fashion. It's jumped on the bunny in both of those and just kept rolling. And then prior to that, ran a nice second behind Kiss Me If You Can, where it jumped forward and kept going as well. Look, in a pretty open race, I'm comfortable that it can get out in front and keep kicking and hold them off in the end. So finishing with B29.
Lovely. I'm going to finish with It's True. I did have everything in its favour last start and had Apprentice race, but won well there. Second, I think, run well since without winning, but now gets Ben Mellum as well. I think can set up for the same run and perform here. From you mentioned the other one, B29, and a bit of a watch on the on Outback Jack from the Lindsay Smith yard coming over from Ascot. But It's True on top for me to finish the day. Your best in value for Pro Group Racing at Sandown?
Yeah, I'm going to try and get away with my best in the first. Race 1, number 1, Aft Cabin. Thought it looked the best bet on the day.
Mm-hmm.
And my value bet comes up in race 6, number 14, Magic Chloe. Got the $7 mark.
Lovely. I agree with you now. Aft Cabin's my best as well. So we'll try and open the day with a winner, race 1, number 1. And I'll make my value Maddox in the sprint race, in race number 3, I believe it was. Let's get to Kenzo, where it looks like they've had some rain. Heavy track now, apparently. So rail in the True as well. So standard Kenzo on pace early and probably getting to the middle by the end of the day, I would suggest, based off that. Where we're starting off with the 3-year-old maidens. How are you going to start the day here?
Yeah, need a little bit of luck, I suspect. This is a pretty tricky affair to start the day. Probably just watching on, to be honest. But if I had to have a bet, I'll probably just go with the one that's been the best performed from its start, and that's Waikiki from the Wallace stable with McDonald aboard. Bit of natural improvement here might be enough for it.
I found Perfect Thought on top and thought I'd done well to find it. And then I went and looked at the market as favourite. So I'm not sure how confident I'm at the price, but I thought the trials were good. Now, 3-year-old filly, 3-year-old colt, in fact, in John Sargent's hands, usually pretty safe hands to be in. So I thought the trials were good as well. Fits well here. From Waikiki, as you said, who was probably had the best last start at the track. Gap back to third there, and we'll be on pace with J-Max. So they're the two, but the market feels the same way. So I'm not telling too many secrets there. Race 2 is the benchmark 72 over the 1550. With the scratchings, I'm going to take a chance here that Nash might roll forward on Air of Alsace. Was good last time. No luck at Rose Hill, but I think Flower Moon's not a bad horse in this midweek level. Comes here, I'm hoping from gate 1 Nash can roll forward and almost control this race. There's a great deal of pace, and around the $5 or $6 mark, I think, is a bit of a bet here. It'll be chasing Son of Samson, but there's not a lot else here. So just backing the jockey will. And in this case, Beaver, what have you done?
I've gone for Hammer On. Thought it looked really good in this lineup. It's never been out of the placings. And had some really nice races last start against some decent company horses.
Yep.
And was well found in the market, behind Detonator Jack, Main Stage. They're all military miss. They're all pretty decent enough horses for a race like this. Waller trained, gets the 3 kilo claim here. Looks suited for me. With the scratching of Green Flash from the same stable, I thought this was a good pointer.
Lovely. Race, we're up to 2,400 metre benchmark 64. The rest of the card is just a lot of provincial form all through the rest of this card. So it gets tricky after here.
When I did the form, I actually looked through it and I thought James McDonald could just about ride every winner. I noticed Green Flashes out. Not that I've tipped him in every race, but he has got a pretty live chance in every race.
Wouldn't be a Wednesday without him riding 3 or 4, but I agree. And I thought Nash has a couple of nice ones as well, such as this one where I went right away from the Kembla lead up and looked to Auspicious Cloud, bolted in first time out to the distance on a wet track at Goulburn last start. It was the first time as well I had a strong jockey in Keegan Latham. Now gets Nash, gets John to come down the outside. And like I said, I was just looking at different form and I feel like out to the distance will suit as well here. So I was with Auspicious Cloud, I speak of. And with all the rest tied together, I just thought that was a bit of a point of difference. What do you find here?
Yeah, I did the same. I went back and found Auspicious Cloud as well. I went back 2 starts ago and at Canberra, ran second behind Epizil, and then they went to Goulburn, bit of extra distance. Was well in the market and absolutely brained it. So some natural improvement there. It's improved, 5 or 6 lengths on that run. So I'm going to suggest that it's got some more improvement. Now it's 5th up over 2,400. That'll suit, and that might be enough to run a really nice race here.
Lovely. Race 4 is a 1550, 64. And you mentioned J-Mac. Is that who you found here?
I did find it here. I tipped this horse last start up in Brizzy, and it sat outside the lead and won pretty convincingly there. I don't see any reason it doesn't go forward here and take up a very similar position and proves just as hard to hold out.
I'm with you. Same thing. Gap job there. It comes back here and gets J-Mac. On top for me, I thought Waller had the main danger too in Tahinga, who was good last time, chasing 12 feet glass. That form is strong on the wet tracks through Sydney. So, again, Nash and J-Mac holding the key. I think they're close to the only 2, really. Prates from Tahinga in race 4. Next up, we've got the 1,000 metre girls 64. What have you done here?
Yeah, I've stuck with J-Mac again here. I think he can, Laurel Lynn resuming, he can run really well. Last 2 runs, last prep, were not its best. It was put out pretty quickly after that. Trials since then have been good enough, and I think he can run well first up here.
Yeah, not much to add. Goes on top almost by default. The trials are good. Nothing went right last prep, and they didn't mess around in getting it out. Comes back here and is Godolphin fresh. So on top for me as well. Benchmark 72, 1,300 meters is next, where I was going to stick with AC Express. Sat outside lead first up, and was pretty good. Comes here, should get close to control of this race now, looking through the scratchings, and it's going to be on pace. Tim Clark and Waterhouse Spot, going to be hard to get past. Obviously, main danger there, Stromboli, who hit the line well behind Arbitration. Your thoughts, Beaver?
Yeah, look, I found this a really tricky race. I've gone for Fast Coney. Just think he can improve today. First few runs haven't been as good a quality, but back in grade here, racing against probably lesser fields than it's been up against. So I think it can improve a lot on that and run really nicely.
Lovely. And the 1,100 meter 64 race, what's left of it, finishes the day, where I was keen to sort of, I don't know if Stromboli is necessarily a wet tracker. He looks like a big strong horse. It might not necessarily suit this, but now the scratchings are out, I don't have anything left I want to back against it. The trials were good. It'll probably win. Do I want to take $1.80? No, but I just don't have an answer to beating it now. So on top for me, Beaver, what have you done?
Yeah, I've got Stromboli clearly on top here. I think it looks probably the best bet of the day for me. He's trialling really well. And then if you go back last prep, had some pretty decent form, even though maiden company, some of those horses have come out and run really well. It's beaten it in those races, and was a good winner before it did go out at Ballarat.
I think the form out of that Melbourne race is good, from memory.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So I think that's right as well. So, and I thought his trial was pretty good and beat Duchy of Savoy. So that would give us a bit of a guide as well.
Yeah.
So I've got it on top.
Lovely. Do you want to tell us your best and value then?
Yeah, my best is race 7, number 4, Stromboli. I think it'll be winning the last race. And my value bet, I don't think I really had one.
Tricky day for value.
It was a tricky day for value. Probably Auspicious Cloud, race 3, number 6. I think it can run well, and you might end up with around $5.
Yeah, I struggled to really stamp a lot here. Let's say we'll go Air of Alsace and Auspicious Gold as 2 worthy bets. I don't know whether they count as value or bests on this card, but they're 2 bets I'm most likely to have. I think Stromboli is going to be winning the last now. So that's the way I'll play it there. What have you got for us in Queensland?
Yeah, not a lot in Queensland, unfortunately, Daggy. I've only come up with 2. So probably just all up there. He's race 4, number 9, Field Weary. Probably start just a little bit worse off than even money, which isn't great, but that'll get you money to double it up and get on the next race. Race 5, number 6, Landsborough Lad. Gets his chance to break through today around that sort of 7 to 4 mark.
Beautiful. Good job, Beaver. Good to see you again. Glad you're back with us.
Thanks, mate.
And we will be back to look at PB Lawrence Stakes Day on Saturday. Spring Carnival's here. So some good racing and good horses at Caulfield, which is exciting. Good punting today, guys, and we'll talk soon.